Technology surrounds us on all sides today, captivating our soft and mushy brains with bright lights and novelty. Now, the information age has created an environment of suffocation where one has to fight to escape the constrictions of social media and online consumerism and the prospect of the totality of the world's knowledge at our fingertips. Now, we carry the most powerful knowledge machine known to human history, the smartphone, around in our pockets all the time, 24/7. And it's intoxicating. For as Aristotle wisely put it in the 4th century BC, all men by nature desire to know. So for these reasons, I would like to talk today about digital minimalism, defined by Cal Newport on page 28 of his book, Digital Minimalism, as a philosophy of technology use in which you focus your online time on a small number of carefully selected and optimized activities that strongly support things you value and then happily miss out on everything else. So, as I said, this definition is from Cal Newport's book, Digital Minimalism, Choosing a Focused Life in a Noisy World. Now, Cal Newport is a computer science professor at Georgetown University, but he became famous writing books. I think his most popular one is Deep Work, about focusing while you're at work. But for digital minimalism, this is designed to reevaluate our personal relationship with technology, understanding how to take advantage of the benefits, which there are many, without falling prey to the detriments, which there are also many. So you might be thinking, hey dude, like you seem pretty anti-technology. Don't you know that there's so much good that comes from it? Yeah, I know. Technology can be amazing. You have instantaneous communication, optimized processes, the availability of news and books and records and so much more. But we have to be actively dominant over our technology use. We have to be deliberate with our purpose. For only then can technology be good for us as humans, as long as we maintain a voluntary control over it, lest we become the product of our own products or the tools of our own tools, as Thoreau adeptly predicted. And the mere presence of benefits doesn't mean that we should use all these services and apps. For example, Instagram's benefit of social connection with my peers doesn't matter if I spend 4 hours a day scrolling through the Reels page, their fake TikTok. The problem we have here with technology is that the benefits are so intermingled with the harms. Just like all these terms of services and privacy policies, we sign up for anything and everything without actually knowing the true costs. So to keep this brief, I'm going to end my rant before it begins. I'd just like to share with you all a little bit about my recent journey through the digital minimalism process. So Cal Newport recommends a month-long digital declutter in this book. I'll go over the guidelines really quickly. It's a 30-day period where you take a break from all optional technology. So optional technology, what's optional? Optional is anything that the removal of would not harm your personal life or your professional life. For example, getting rid of calling and texting, that would really damage my relationship to my friends and my family, and other parts of my life. So that's not optional here. Another factor for me is work. Like I work 40 hours a week on a computer. I can't change that unless I switch jobs. So Can't really remove access to like my work email or anything like that. That would harm my professional life. So yeah, anything else that wouldn't directly impact personal, professional, you get rid of it for this month and you see how it goes. So then, after you've removed everything optional, it's important to replace the lost time with activities that you deem as satisfying or meaningful. These should be offline, obviously, and aimed at providing practical value for your life. Finally, at the end of the 30 days, you can evaluate your progress through the declutter, and then you decide which technologies you'd like to reintroduce into your routines and which are better off in the gutter. So this has the positive value of you're not just totally removing everything, you're seeing what works and what doesn't work. And it will likely be apparent that many of the things that you considered to be necessary are in fact inessential. Now, this change was not as jarring for me as it might be for others, as my online presence at the time was still much less than most of my peers. I know this because I asked them to show me their iPhone screen time reports. Yet, I was still not satisfied with my time management, still using Instagram Reels by like an hour a day. And I was playing Free Cell and Minesweeper online when I was bored, and I would stream TV and movies at night after I had gotten into bed. And it felt like technology was a form of paralysis, keeping me in a state of distraction and shrouding me away from the truths of the world. Anytime I felt down, there was always an app to relieve my mental burden. There was comfort in amusing diversions. Yet comfort in distraction is empty comfort. Distraction does not address anything. In fact, I would go as far to say it exacerbates the very problem that it poses to solution to. To remove technological distraction is to force yourself to think and to feel real thoughts and real feelings. And we must remember that change is most effective when it's rapid. Weaning is so much harder for activities that do not involve physical withdrawal. So I won't get into the minutia of how I ran this month-long declutter. The main things I did, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, everything except phone calls. I hardly get those. I deleted all unnecessary phone apps, and I switched to web for a lot of applications that I thought I might check. So getting rid of everything on the mobile, unsubscribing from or ending all my streaming and gaming habits, and a couple extras. I reconsidered my music listening habits, and I deleted the web browser from my phone. Now, this may have been a little extreme, but I found out that by not searching the web every time I had a thought, I realized a lot of those thoughts were actually unnecessary. I didn't need to be doing all that Google searching. So now that I set up all these removals, I had to figure out replacements for my eliminated habits. More time for reading was obvious. I also decided to increase my note-taking and writing in a big way. That's a topic for a different video, but I have been dabbling with the Zettelkasten system, among other projects. But outside of that, my goal was to achieve better intuition with my body in regards to nutrition and exercise. And also I wanted to become handier, more in tune with the practical skills that I should know as a man. So as I said, this declutter process wasn't too hard for me. The deletion of apps from my phone was key, as lacking a proximity to distraction made it so much easier to not want or to check on anything. I didn't really miss Goodreads or YouTube or Discord or Instagram. It just became easy to not check my phone because I had nothing to do on my phone. Some texting was necessary, but I tried to use it as a method for arranging phone calls or in-person meetings as much as possible. And the loss of gaming didn't hurt much. I only really played Free Cell, but I think paradoxically, my sleep initially suffered without the blinding lights of streaming. You have only your thoughts to lie with, but that difficulty wore off just by sticking with it and not streaming. Humans were adaptable. So yeah. A huge part of this process was no longer being informed about news or sports. Now, these are huge talking points in both media and small talk, but the point of digital minimalism is to be okay with missing out on things, and I was more than happy to not know what was going on. So the results were great in terms of limiting my phone and internet time. Other than the absolutely infuriating bureaucracy of trying to delete accounts online, as well as trying to delete some of my camera roll, I barely spent any time on my phone, and my laptop time outside of work was pretty much only taking notes on Obsidian. It's a web program, and that had its ups and downs. But I spent a great deal of time reading nonfiction and really finding out the topics that I value and I want to delve further into. And this was really instrumental for my learning, and I've started to generate some actual usable content related to my interests, which I think is great. On the other hand, learning practical skills went abysmally. I found creating new hobbies to be much harder than expanding my current ones, especially as a person who lives in a tiny city apartment. And there's only so much time in the day. We can only do so much. So even without technology usage, I was still running out of time in the day, and I had to reevaluate what I made time for each hour. So it's actually been more than 30 days, maybe been a couple months, and I haven't changed much since the start of the declutter, even if I'm not as Spartan as I was in that initial month. I actually deleted my Goodreads account entirely, and I'm planning to create my own website or newsletter once I learn HTML. But despite my dislike for Google, YouTube will remain my main posting platform due to popularity and being able to get out a message. And streaming and gaming are also out, although I will watch movies socially or at the theater. I think that's cool. So yeah, to conclude, well, digital minimalism wasn't the perfect process for me. I think it was great at helping me target the things I value most in life and removing everything else that was extraneous. And I do think the philosophy is commendable because it's not anti-technology. It's not Luddism, but it's geared towards helping you have the best possible relationship with technology. And that's the point that Cal Newport makes. And it works out great. So I'd recommend to everyone who thinks they spend too much time online to check out Cal Newport's Digital Minimalism. But remember, the book cannot change anything if you yourself are reluctant to change. Change starts with you.